It is Thursday, October 22nd. Welcome, everyone, to Living Room Sports Talk. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think the audio is working. The video is working. I mean, not that they're happy to see my face per se, but look at this. Here, McCauley, we've got Zach Rothenberger. We got the great Cole Plunkett here joining us in the studio. First timer, all the way out in Roland Park, Kansas, basically Kansas City, Missouri. But you got like that detail put in the box there. I'm trying to, the way I was thinking about doing it, I was like, Oklahoma Joe's it's in Kansas. You got to roll it there.
Got to. It's just right around the corner, just right there.
It's a hell of a walk.
I can smell it.
Oh, baby.
Got the Z-Man. That's actually why I started calling you Z-Man, Zach.
Oh, is that right?
I swear to God, yeah, the sandwich. That's the place with the sandwich called Z-Man.
Oh, perfect. Is it good?
Is it good? Oh my God.
Perfect. There we go.
I think Anthony Bourdain said it was one of the 13 things you had to eat before you died on planet Earth. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Perfect. All right.
It's definitely not bad. Let's put it that way. But I was just speaking of good things. Hey, we're back on the air. We're rolling. It's fine. I'm just like waiting now for like something to pop up in the chat and be like, "Oh, we can't hear you. We can't see you." And you're just gonna see me flip like the table, like everything, just like go, like the Packers lost or something. Which to me is actually the only silver lining in us not doing the show Monday and Tuesday. Never had to exercise those demons at all. But all right, I'll tell you. So let's dive into the show a little bit. But we got a great one. Well, Thursday Night Football, Zach. I already can see you're looking at screens. You're repping.
Yeah,
what do you feel before we jump in the show? What kind of emotions are rolling through your head right now? I gotta know.
I've been feeling really good. I don't know why. I mean, we have really nothing to show for besides beating the Washington Pathetics. And, but we're rolling off a win. A win's a win. So I hope that we kind of get the mojo going and we can stick it to the Eagles tonight, which it's been a while. But I'm feeling good.
Oh, look, dude, we got Trust already rolling in the chat for you. He's ready to go for the G-Men.
Oh, perfect. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. and real quick, so we'll talk Cole real quick. Let me actually give you a real introduction here. I'm not just like, oh, it's Cole, by the way. Everyone loves Cole, right? Like, dude, all right, so we go back. First of all, how we became friends is one of the best stories, I think, of like in the sports world, like that you can find. But you know what? We just our friendship just kept growing from work and to this day now that we've taken separate paths. But here we are in the podcasting world, and this is a lot of fun. First time.
Dude, this has been a long time coming. And we have come a long way from that rain delay at Camden Yards. A long way.
Oh my God! All right, so should we do that story real quick?
I think so.
All right. So we used to work together, right? So we're in Baltimore for business, and which is a stone's throw for me, obviously, if you can see our geographical, things in the boxes, right? It's not that far from like the Philadelphia area. For Colts, a hotel and an adventure away, but I guess I was staying down there anyway, just because But anyway, so I show up to work. You already beat me there. Like you're just looking sharper than me. Like you're ready to go, and you're already answering. I'm getting in there right at 8:00. Zach, he's like answering questions already, like just like, oh yeah, I can help you with that. And I'm just like, ooh, this guy. Like I was like, he's like, oh God, because at least I was there for the entire week. He was there for the back half, and some girl was there the front half, and she didn't care at all. So I was just like, the vibe was so chill, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's gonna like actually care, And so then I'm talking to like the folks there, and I'm saying, oh yeah, like by the way, I'm thinking of going to Camden Yards, and I'm trying to cross that off like my ballpark list. And Cole's like, oh, like I'm trying to see that too. Like, do you want to go together? And I'm just like, yeah, that'd be fun, man. So like, this is like my like ultimate like feel around. I'm like, hey, do you want to like maybe meet down like the hotel bar and like grab like a drink or two and like maybe like an appetizer or something before we go. And I'll never forget there was like a special and we like looked at each other and we're like, I think we should Uber to the game. We're like, yeah, I think we should. My parents are gonna hate this story, by the way, but they can appreciate us having an amazing friendship now that blossomed out of this night. But
that's all it is, man.
So we Uber there, Zach, and we go to Camden Yards, and it was the first ever rain delay I was at, and it rained. So
it poured.
Yeah. I mean, it poured. The beers were pouring also in the concourse, after while the rain delay was going. So, so the game. Do we talk about the part where we missed each other's seats by a little bit? Or?
Go for it, man. Go for it.
That's your walk.
Yeah. No. I mean, so he thinks that I was a square. I think when he showed up at work, and I've got my collared shirt on with the company logo and everything. I think he walks in thinking like, oh, I just left this girl who's super into this job and like super ready to go, and here I walk in and here's this guy with the company logo, and he's already here. It's 7 a.m. And so we start talking sports, and we start talking, with the client. Obviously, we're trying to help them as much as we could, but yeah, it comes out that we're coming to camp, and the Indians were in town, so the Indians were playing the Baltimore Orioles.
Zach, horrible game.
It was a terrible game. It was a terrible game, but it was fun. So we Ubered down there, and like after the second or third inning, there was just a massive rain delay, and we decided we were going to have some fun. We had some fun, and it was probably the seventh or the eighth inning. I mean, the game had been restarted. We've been there for 5 hours at that point.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a long time, and it was my turn, actually. We got some, I think we bought cheap seats, but we ended up with some seats down low because we just walked down there, and it wasn't a full park that night. I mean, it was the Baltimore. There wasn't a ton of people there.
It was a COVID crowd. Yeah. Let's split it. It was a COVID crowd.
I think I overshot our row. If we were row 20, I think I walked to row like 7. I mean, I think I overshot our row by like 13 rows. And it was pretty bad. But I'll tell you what, as bad as it was, it definitely like made a good friend out of that night. So
that's awesome.
And to end the night, so we're Ubering back, and we're asking the Uber driver, like, by the way, like, we're in Baltimore, like, anywhere you can get like a good meal, like, we're expecting like some type of seafood place, like along the harbor or whatever. And he goes, if you want to get the best Italian food, the Olive Garden. I'm like biting down my hand in the cab because, or the Uber or whatever, because I worked there in college. And anyone who watches the show knows I have nothing positive to say about that place. But nevertheless, I hope that guy enjoys it. I mean, at least someone in this world has to, I guess, right?
What time was your Uber? Was it like a 7 o'clock game?
Yeah, it was. It was a late Uber.
This was probably like midnight.
Yeah, the game. It was a late game.
It was a long game because of the rain delay, and we're hungry. We've been drinking a little bit, and we're like, hey man, like, where can we get some really good food? And he's like, and his, oh my God, that was one of the worst Ubers I've ever been in.
The pride he had in his tone too about the Olive Garden.
He was just like,
it's sickening.
Dude, like, you gotta go to the Olive Garden. Like, we had never heard of it before.
The Olive Garden, yeah.
Awesome. So we got a great show for everyone. So Thursday Night Football's tonight, so we'll obviously dive into a lot of that earlier in the show, and then we got even a little NFL lightning round in the back of the show, and then Cole, you're rocking your Razorbacks. We're going to talk college football, which I feel like we haven't done enough. Zach, I feel like there's like, and especially between a 2-week hiatus and then the audio not working this week. Sure. We're really rolling along here. But yeah, a lot of good stuff, and the chat's already rolling, which we love. And as we always do, let's start off the show with a little clickbait cleanup. So Zach, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, let's do it. So this came out like 2 weeks ago, but then it resurfaced again today for some reason. And, it's ESPN's at it again. They say the king wants his respect. Yet again, LeBron James, I guess the king, we'll say king, wants his respect. And Kieran, last time I checked, and Cole, do like legends demand respect, or is it just kind of like it's earned, right? You don't just get it. You got to earn it. And when someone keeps beating his chest, I want my respect, you're not going to get it. Like, come on. It angers me every time I see it, and it seems like I see it every other day.
No, I'm totally with you. LeBron grinds my gears more than any other professional athlete, and he is that good. He is generational talent good, and all of the off-field stuff with the politics and with the demand for respect, it just takes away from what he does on the court, and it's super hard to like him. And so I totally agree with you.
And here, let me jump in on that with LeBron a little bit, because I feel like we rip him. Let's actually get in there for a second. I think for me personally, right, like there's two things. And I felt like what was really cool about watching The Last Dance was it brought to light a lot of kind of basically the contrast to me of like why he's not the greatest of all time. And the two things that stick out to me, right? One, you look at how Michael Jordan stuck it out. He said, we're changing it. Like, we're going to grind this team up until it gets to molded into the way I want, which is like, and I'm not like, and this is why it's kind of 50-50. And then LeBron left. He left to go win his rings, right? You have to knock him for that. And it's not like he left to go play with the process Sixers or something, right? To make that super team, right? So, all right, there's that. And then the other half of it some of the off the court stuff. I feel like, here's the thing, right? With him, it's just like I just wish people, I'll use this as an example, ready? Because it's fine. I'm trying to like walk on eggshells here and say what I want to say correctly. Jason Whitlock wrote a really good column on Outkick.com, and he was talking about that Malcolm X autobiography that LeBron James said he was reading, or allegedly said he was reading, right? And when he was asked about it, LeBron had a response about what the book was about. And this article basically said what he said was completely wrong, and that this guy actually read the book 3 times, Whitlock, that is. And he's basically said, this is what this chapter was about, this is what this chapter is about. Like and so I guess my point with LeBron, like I just feel like much like the media, how like a lot of things are just said, and I don't know how much is true. I don't know how much like how true, like it's just and how much he's put on that platform to say those things, right? Like because everyone's like, oh, we gotta shut up and listen. It's like, but everyone's got to make sure like you got to do your own fact checking, right? Like so I don't know. That's my whole thing with him. And I think. Look, and to add it to the last dance, I guess my point is Michael Jordan said, look, I'm not knowledgeable in all these things, right? Like I have my own opinions. I try to do what's best for society and the world and right in the community. But he just said, like, I'm not also going to overstep if I feel like I'm not in the territory where I feel comfortable talking about things, which I just respected because I think in a sense, that's right how we should all live and staying right. I don't know.
Completely agree. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
we're really going there. I love this. We're cooking now.
I think he wants to be Muhammad Ali and have that generational impact, and he just doesn't come across like that. I mean, that's my opinion.
That's perfect. That's a way better way. I had to like just go around the merry-go-round. You just nailed it in like a sentence and a half. All right. So to that point, Cole, you're a butter on a roll. You want to go next to your clickbait?
Yeah, sure. So my clickbait, Roddy White, who is he? He's still a Falcons receiver, right? I mean, is he still on the team? I have no idea.
So he retired. He retired. I'm trying to think how many years it was. Maybe like 3 or 4.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Alexa, when did Rodney White retire from football?
Rodney White retired in 2005.
No, that's not the right guy. Yeah, that's not the right guy.
Come on, you're better than that.
But anyway, that speaks to my point. He's irrelevant, right? He said that Trevor Lawrence should stay in college if the Jets have the number 1 overall pick, just because the Jets are that type of organization. I completely disagree with this take. Look, Trevor Lawrence is 20, 21 at most. You only have a certain number of years in your athletic prime to go and make your money, to go and make your legacy in the NFL. And the Jets are not historically the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we're not talking about the worst franchise in NFL history here. They're not that bad of a franchise. And I mean, they went 7-9 last year, and Adam Gase, if the trajectory continues this year, he's going to be gone. So you have Trevor Lawrence.
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Anyway.
He is so gone. He's like the person in Survivor when there's like they're like on like if there's 10 people voting, like the 8th person's like I'm voting for this, like gone. Like see ya.
He's way gone.
How to get that out? Sorry, I've been building 2 weeks of us not doing the show, Cole.
No, he's gone, and so you have a guy who's a generational talent. I mean, I don't know that we've seen a better quarterback in college for the last couple of years. He's going to go 1-1 overall to the Jets if the Jets are over, right? You're going to have a new head coach. Maybe they offer the head coaching spot to Dabo. Bring Dabo with him. I don't know. But I just think it's a terrible take to tell a generational talent at quarterback not to go 1-1 overall in the NFL draft in the most violent sport on planet Earth where the injury potential is there. I think Trevor Lawrence, regardless of what the Jets do this year and regardless of what Clemson does this year, he needs to go. He needs to go to the NFL. He needs to get drafted one of one, get his bag. And you know what? He's in the largest media market on planet Earth, in one of the largest franchises on planet Earth. He just needs to go and turn it around, and he's going to be an NFL legend. I don't understand the take that he should stay in college when he has nothing left to prove in college. What does he have left to prove at Clemson? He's already won the national championship.
Nothing.
Put up 73 points on Georgia Tech last week, a conference game. He's regarded as the best quarterback in college football for the last 2 years. What does he have left? Go to the NFL, get the money, go to the biggest media market in the NFL and lead the Jets back to prominence. I just don't see why. This take is terrible. That's all I'm trying to say.
And it's a challenge, right? I mean, think of it if it was one of us, right? Like, and everyone's like, oh, well, he can't actually save that team. You're thinking you can save that team if you think you're like you should be able to believe, like you should be believing in yourself. And I'm not like, and obviously I'm not calling out trouble because he's obviously not the one saying that, but like from a person like viewing this, wouldn't you say like no one does that?
No, I mean, he's a competitor. He's an athlete. You want the challenge, right? You want that challenge. And you know what? He should walk across the draft stage with the Joe Namath fur coat on and just own it. He should own it.
I completely agree. I was going to say, apparently LeBron has put this thing in athletes' mind that they don't like challenge, that he doesn't like a challenge because he just goes somewhere when and brings his buddies with him. So that's where this is coming from, in my opinion. And Roddy White's just doing this to be relevant again because we all forgot about him clearly.
And I love what the chat's
I didn't
saying,
even know he retired. So.
Right.
Yeah, I love what the chat's going right now, saying the King's a pretender. Oh yeah, and look, the new guy's awesome. Dude, Plunk saying, "I love the little kudos in there." Yeah. All right, I'll tell you, and I'll do mine too. So we're speaking of hacks, right? And I feel like I've been like a negative host tonight. I'm going for it today. I've never been a Bob Costas guy, but he attacked me right where it hurt, and I'll tell you where, or when I should say. So. It's probably a few days ago. I've been saving this one, and I was telling you about this. So I guess he was on CNN. Speaking like we were talking about the news, but anyway, so he was on CNN, and he said with Don Lemon that college football is a mindless obsession. I think he was honestly, and I listened to it. I think really in general, he was just kind of referring to football in general as a mindless obsession. I'm like, first of all, nice toupee there, Bob. But second of all, that's the sport that made you kind of fit. I mean, obviously baseball it's just like, why are you biting the hand that feeds you? First of all, you're just trying to cater to an audience that's listening to that vertical. It just, to me, it's just so hypocritical. And the other thing is, it's because he got booted out of the Ring of Honor in the old Sunday Night Football ring, if you will, the NBC like little inner circle. And now he's just spewing venom. And I just hate it. It's because he doesn't actually mean that. And I also think he's overrated. Like, while we're at it, I'm not like, right, like everyone's like, oh, Bob Costas. It's like, yeah, but what does he actually do that's so well? If he's on MLB Network calling those random ass games on like a Tuesday, it's like, am I really sitting there and be like, oh, thank God Bob Costas is calling the Pirates and the Blue Jays? Like, no, it's not that interesting.
Honestly, the last thing I can remember about Bob Costas, like when you say Bob Costas, the first thing that pops in my head is like, I think it was the 2012 Olympics where he had pink eye in London. That's the only thing I remember about him. I mean, he calls the Olympics, but when it comes to football or when it comes to any relevant sport here in the United States, he's not relevant.
It's not good. It's not good.
No.
But I'll tell you, let's to that point. Look at this. We're 20 minutes in. I feel like that's a record for before we got into Thursday Night Football chatter, Zach. But I'll tell you, look at that. And I love what the chat was saying. The chat is lit right now. I love it.
Bob retired.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's irrelevant, so he might as well be, right? So, but let's get to football. So I'm looking over right now. The NFL Network's on the old TV screen over there to the old right of me. And Zachary, this is your soapbox. Take it. Breathe it in, right? We got Eagles fans, we got Giants fans in the chat. We got people like Cole and I just wearing red, just rocking out. He's got the good football team in college and the Razorbacks. I got the team that can't beat Navy, but nonetheless, take it away and tell me what emotions are you feeling right now when, not to be that guy, the Eagles and Giants are combined 2-9-1 right now, but yet they're on the cusp of taking the reins of the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the record, getting the playoffs, one option is obviously winning your division. So our division is god awful right now. But hey, in order for us to get in, our only hope is winning the division at this rate. I know everyone is laughing at this game, but in reality, it's a very crucial divisional game for us in order to try to get into that, to chase for that division title. And it's still early on. I mean, who's to say we can't put a little run together? I'm optimistic. I'm not going to be too optimistic and say we're going to go finish 11-5 or anything like that. But, after stringing a win together last week, it wasn't pretty by any means, but riding a wave where you finally get your first win under a new head coach, hopefully that can hopefully this short week actually benefits us in that perspective, because we'll still be, on this high, especially against a rival like Philadelphia. They've had our number. We haven't beat them in 4 years, which is pretty pathetic. And I'm hoping that changes tonight.
So I got some. All right. So and we talked about this morning. I was texting you a little bit, and Cole. Oh, it's like you know how it goes with the sports chatter nonstop, even through the workday. But I got some numbers for you, Zach.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you'll like them, but I'm not even trying to be that guy. I want you to chew through them, and let's see where we go with it. But so I'll start with this, right? So okay, yeah. Let's put the numbers. They're not good. So you've lost. Actually, it's 6 straight, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's 6 straight.
So 6 straight. 3 straight years, and you've lost 11-12 to them.
Yeah.
That's not good. I don't think you beat Doug Peterson at all.
No, because our last win came in November of 2016, I think.
Is that the Chip Kelly, Pat Shurmur game? Like where Chip Kelly got fired and then Pat Shurmur was the head coach of the Eagles?
That maybe.
And it was up in the Meadowlands. It might have been, but nevertheless. All right. So personally, like when we start dissecting this Thursday night game, right? Whether you're someone that just wants to bet on it, right? Like anything. I'm just, trying to cater to every audience. Justin, I got all the numbers here for you from every side of this game that you want to look at. I think it starts the smoking gun to me, right? It's the Giants offense.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof, right, this year. Now I'm going to ask you the question, but I'm going to throw some things to make you maybe address as I ask you what is up with them, right? That's the general question I'm asking. But right, okay. So this is one of the stats I found most interesting. Daniel Jones so far has 3 passing touchdowns. He eclipsed that 4 times, like in 4 different games last year. He threw like 3 or more touchdown passes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, okay, like so that's a little lopsided. And then, right, they're ranked 31st right now in offense. They're 30th in yards they're 30th in rushing, 30th in passing, 31st in points per game, 32nd or last in total yards. It's so basically like that's not like that's we're not saying like they're 27th or 26th, like they're back there in the pack, right? Like you're a horse guy, they're back there. Like so why, if I'm just and I'm not trying to challenge you, I'm just saying why would I turn this TV on and believe that they're going to win this game?
Yeah, I think part of the reason why the offense has struggled so much, and I'm not an excuse maker by any means, but I think a large part of it, which we've seen with other teams, how they've started off slow and started to catch their stride, was because of the lack of a preseason under new coaching staffs and things of that nature. I think, Jason Garrett, I think he's a decent offense coordinator, but so far it hasn't shown yet. I think Daniel Jones is still getting kind of used to that system and what he's asking of him. But I think what's going to keep us in this game, what's going to eventually push us over and hopefully get this win is our defense, honestly. And another side note is the Eagles defense has not been playing very well at all. So I'm hoping that we kind of use some of this momentum against a poor defense, and hopefully good old Danny Dimes has himself a day. But we'll see. I mean, we're getting Sterling Shepard back, which, I mean, he's not a number 1 wide receiver by any means, but at least it's another weapon at his disposal, because Golden Tate is clearly non-existent. So, yeah.
Well, so let me throw this at you. And first of all, Cole, let me tell you, let me ask you, because I'm curious. Up here, I was giving you a little debrief. I was like up here in like Pennsylvania, especially on the east. Like, I mean, it's just, and to be fair, the Northeast corridor a good bit between family being up here, right? Your brother went to Naval Academy of Boston. Oh, thank you for his service. Like that was one of the best videos I've ever seen, by the way, your rehearsal dinner when he was, oh my God, that was awesome. But so shout out to Brad, but like that was awesome.
No, he's awesome. He's actually back stateside. He lives in Jacksonville now. So
he's not going to Jaguars games, I hope, because they're awful to watch.
No, I don't think so.
Got to make sure he's safe and sound, right? Like, yeah, that's but right. So looking real quick at the Giants. So first of all, let me add one other thing. And you're talking about the defense, but let me add a staple. I think just as much as it's important, I'm like trying to get this like stat out because I'm proud of finding it. Just as much as it's important that your defense plays well. I saw that since Saquon went out, which was essentially right at the start of the season, right? The beginning of week 2, and week 1 was a mess against the Steelers. Daniel Jones is your leading rusher.
Yep.
I mean, do you feel good about that? I mean, like where are you with that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel good about that.
I got another subscription, by the way. We gotta love that.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, B-Plug. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo. Oh, I love this. This is great. This is one of the best shows we've had. But sorry, keep going with your Danny Dimes chatter. My bad.
Yeah, I like that he can run because, obviously over the last, 15, 16 years, we never had a quarterback who could really run or was a threat running. So I like that about him. I don't want him to be our leading rusher, obviously. I think part of the reason that is as well is I think our offensive line is starting to get their footing. And I think we didn't really have a number one back until, now we have Devontae Freeman, and he's showing some spurts here or there. Not a stud by any means like he used to be, but better than, Wayne Gallman or Deion Lewis as your lead back. So I think that's a large part of it, but I think Freeman's you'll see that eclipse Daniel Jones, hopefully.
All right, well, let's look at the defense first. Defense here for a second. It's funny because Cole and I, we can empathize with you. We're Packers fans, so we haven't seen a really great defense in a minute. But your defense has looked good. But I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Giants' defense has been stops the run, pass has been iffy, especially on third down.
Yeah, it's third down. James Bradbury is having a hell of a season to start. I think he has 2 or 3 interceptions already, so a ton of pass deflections. I think he's ranked one of the top 3 or 4 cornerbacks right now in the league, which I was surprised to find out, but he's been playing great. Logan Ryan's been a good addition. And Leonard Williams is actually playing like he knows how to play football, unlike last year for us. So that's cool too. I'm hoping they can stop Wentz. I mean, Wentz hasn't been playing his best football lately, and I think he can turn the corner though. I mean, let me ask you this, Cole, real quick. Jump in here for a second. We're just going to be like the ESPN segment here for a second. Just completely out of the Northeast. You're in the Midwest. Complete opinion. What do you think of Daniel Jones right now? Like, let's say he's on your team, right? Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz. Like, what do you feel about both these quarterbacks right now?
I feel like Carson Wentz is more maligned in the media than Daniel Jones is overall. But I think Carson Wentz is, if I'm drafting, I think I'm picking Carson Wentz over Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is, I mean, you said it, Kieran, he's the leading rusher for the Giants right now because Saquon's out. I think he's doing everything he can. But like I said, I think if I'm drafting a team, I'm picking Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is the better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
And I think it's so weird. The Eagles are such a bizarre team because, like, they always seem like, right, when their backs are up against the wall, they actually come through. Which to me, that's always so bad. And every time I want to say Doug Peterson's a good coach, right? Then they lose, and I'm like, all right, I don't know, right? Here they are, 1-4-1. But then on the flip side, then he's the guy also taking Boston Scott, Greg Ward Jr., Josh Perkins last year in the playoffs. So I told you this, Act 2, and what do you think of this? I feel like this is the blueprint for tonight's game was last year's late Monday night game. A lot of injuries, right? Teams were a little bit down. Like, so what do you feel? Do you feel it's going to be kind of same style, same matchup, or what?
Yeah, no, I can see it playing out that way. I mean, if it's the same game I'm thinking of, we started off with like a 17-point lead, I think, going into halftime, and then we blow it. I don't know, man. Of course, I'm biased. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing an Eli Manning jersey and a Giants hat, but I really think that our defense has improved significantly. I know the third down woes are still there a little bit, but because of the players, like I mentioned, I think we're getting better there. I think our defense is going to really hold them, and I just have a weird feeling. I know this isn't the best analyst's opinion here, if you want to call it that. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a decent day. I don't think Darius Slay has anything on Darius Slayton. Little word fun there.
That is that little SpaghettiOs right there.
Yeah. I really don't, but I don't know. I'm a big ride the emotions guy and ride the vibes for teams, and I just feel like the Giants have that and the Eagles don't. I think the Eagles lost by 2 points last week, to the Ravens, but that was kind of a fake score in my opinion. The Ravens kind of let them limp back into the game. Right.
They kind of just score time, get out of there. Right. I know what you mean. That type of game.
And keep in mind, everyone, like I said, everyone on like NFL Network and every, station in the world is saying, oh, the Eagles have lost some tough games, to like tough opponents. Like we've had a pretty similar schedule to them. We lost to Steelers. Eagles lost to Steelers. We lost to the Rams. Eagles lost to the Rams. Like, we played some tough teams as well and lost. They were fairly close games for most of the game, and we're not getting that credit the Eagles are for some reason. But
That's a good point too. Go ahead, Cole. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no. So Zach, I'm curious to ask, like, with the state of the division, I mean, the Cowboys are leading with 2 wins. Does this game tonight mean anything at the end of the year right now? I mean, obviously the Cowboys are scoring a ton of points, but they lost Dak Prescott. You know, I don't know that they're going to score that many points, and their defense is just absolutely atrocious. So does this game actually matter? I mean, if the Giants win this game, do you think this puts them on a path to win the NFC East?
I think it does matter a lot from a divisional perspective, just because of how close it is and like the tiebreakers and all that good stuff with seeding and jockeying towards the end of the year. But I think it does more for like the confidence of the team. Like, if we can string together 2 wins in a row, I think it could really propel them. I'm not going to say they're going on a 6-game winning streak or anything, but I just think it could really propel them. And the same thing for the Eagles. Honestly, this is a game that either team should be able to win. But at the end of the day, it's going to be. We'll see what happens. And I think it absolutely does mean something for sure.
I think sometimes we get lost in the weeds of like, if it's like, it's good to lose, right? Like, it's still early. Like, we're just turning the first quarter of the season, and the division is on the line. And I get you can look at this from different angles, right? Like, are you a team that has a lot of bad contracts? You're old, and like you probably need to blow the team up because they're not performing, right? Like, I get there's different avenues of this conversation, but at the same point, and Zach, I was saying this to Beltran yesterday, and kind of you a little bit. I think why the Giants need to win this game is because you need to, and I'm not trying to be that guy, you need to start winning. Like, you need to start winning some games. Like, right, like you can start, like, you can, look, I'm a Sixers fan, right? Like, I can tell you about the process. I can tell you about what it's like to pick in the top, few picks every year for years in a row. So, and you can too, you're a Knicks fan. So, well, actually, no, because they always screw you in the lottery. So you can't actually relate. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, we don't even get to that point again.
Yeah, not to throw you under the bus there, but to that point, right? Like, and like at some point, you need to say, like, when are we moving in the right? Because like, it's easy to just always get lost in the conversation. Oh, top 5 pick, we're just stacking pay. It's like, yeah, but you're like, football's too. You can go quicker in football, right? I mean, look at the Packers. I know like Aaron Rodgers, but hey, they went 6-9-1, right? They went 7-9 the year before that. And everyone that year when LaFleur took over was like, who knows if this guy's even good? He's a first-year head coach, right? And they go 13-3. So I'm like, my point, and there's other teams that have done that model. The Bears won the division the first year they hired Matt Nagy, right? Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl. What was it? His second year in? I mean, so my point is, you can spin quick, right? Like, and I just don't want you to get lost in this whole idea of not you, but like as the fans, like that's why I think it's important if you can win this game and start thinking about winning a division. Winning next week because it's an important game to win, right? Like, just all those thoughts and those juices that haven't really been flowing in New York in the last few years. I think that's important for you guys.
Yeah, no, 100%. We need to get back in the New York groove, as that song says. So, no, we need it badly. I think a lot of people's jobs are going to be on the line, not necessarily the coaching staffs, but talking about Mr. David Gettleman. So, we'll see. Something needs to change. We need to kind of get back into that winning culture. But, yeah, Karen, there was a question in the chat about I think Truss said it. Boston Scott, start or sit tonight? I asked you this.
I think you start him. It's actually fun. I was going to say, let's talk about the Eagles. Not to be that guy. I feel like we've kind of been just like hammering the Giants' lens in this game. Right? No. I think Truss. I think that's a great question in the chat. I think Boston Scott's going to have a good game. I think his over under for like rushing and receiving yards today was like 76.5. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, especially if you're a PPR league, I think it's a great call. I think he can get 10 to 15 to maybe even 20 points if he scores like a touchdown or two. And to that point, right, I think Doug Peterson's very good at kind of like, he comes from the Andy Reid tree. And Cole, you can relate to this, right? You said, Jess, your wife's a Chiefs fan, right? Like you're an honorary Chiefs fan living out there. Andy Reid's the master of the screen game, master of simplifying, right? Like Matt Moore, you were at the game last year. The Packers played them on Sunday Night Football when Matt Moore was starting, and everyone kind of knew, like, well, Andy will set him up for success, right? Like Doug Peterson seems to thrive in these situations when there's not enough guys and simplifying the game plan, almost and taking it over and running with it. And I think Boston Scott is one of the key. I'm like almost like Francis Scott Key, and Boston Scott is the key to, I think, unlocking the Eagles' offense tonight. I saw a stat about Oh no, I was about to say I remember like half of it, but it was a good stat about how if he touches the ball 10 times or more, how much success the Eagles have on offense. It's like great stat, Karen. I'd say, but to that point, I feel like that's what they need to go. Travis Fulham's been great, right? He's been a really good story for them. Greg Ward Jr. obviously needs to step up, and then Lane Johnson. Yeah, and Lane Johnson's going to give it a go. So that's kind of where I'm at with this team. I think you just like, and you've told me before how anytime they're down and out, they always come back.
Yeah, no, I think Boston Scott, and putting it in perspective here, Antonio Gibson put up, I think it was 7 or 8 points against the Giants last week without a touchdown. I think Scott can get a touchdown on top of that. So giving you 14 points around that.
Oh, yeah.
Getting in the end zone, but not
okay, give me more than just a very general fantasy take here. What do you think? All right. I'll like spoon feed it to you as a Giants fan because I know the emotions are flowing here. We're an hour away from kickoff. Are you scared of Carson Wentz? What are you scared of if this offense attacking you? I know you're confident in your defense, right? But so I'll be that guy for a second where I'll mesh the segments together. They're 31st out of 32 teams on getting off the field on third down. That sucks, dude. I'm not trying to be that guy. That's like, hey, I'm looking to lose. And it's like, well, your quarterback's turned the ball over every single start except one last year. And your defense is 31st out of 32. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's an uphill slope to get on. Like, how are you supposed to win games when you have like those two horrible variables spinning in your eyes? Sorry, I'm just trying to like, we can
only get better. If we're 31st, we can only get better from there, right? No, it's a good point, and it's alarming. It's alarming when you have Carson Wentz, who he can make plays happen. He hasn't been the most accurate quarterback as we've seen this year, but it doesn't mean he can't string a good game. And he's a scrambler. He can get out of the pocket and make a play happen on 3rd and freaking 20, probably. So yeah, it is alarming, but we'll see what happens. He hasn't really been himself this year, as far as I've seen. So, for our sake, let's hope that continues. I'm really showing my bias tonight.
It's funny. I've never seen you like this on the show before, and I honestly love it. I love it. Because you know what? I know you care. And like in a world where everyone's kind of like just like laughing at this game and snarking at it and saying like 2-9-1 between the two teams, like whatever. You believe in this team. You believe in your coach, right? Like you got to believe. I like the belief. Like you got to be a little biased. That's fine. That's why I'm here to kind of even Steven it up a little bit.
Hey,
that's why I'm wearing red. Call it red.
I've drank the red. I drank the Kool-Aid since like first grade, so I'm blacked out at this point in time.
I love it.
Wait, can I ask a question real quick? How did two boys from the Philadelphia area? Neither of you are Eagles fans. What happened?
Yeah, so my mom's side of the family is from New York, so that rubbed off on me for football. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Mine's not as exciting. I walked downstairs or upstairs or whatever TV it was when I was like 4 or 5, asking my dad, like what we're watching. He said the Super Bowl biggest game on sports, and asked him who we're rooting for between the Packers and Patriots, and he said the Packers, and I said great, and that was the team. And I just recognized the G, and I would cut out their helmets like in the Inquirer and all sorts of stuff, and they just kind of thought I'd outgrow it, and I never did. So a lot of bullying. 4th and 26 was not a good time. No, I'm just kidding, not a lot of bullying, but no, it's been fun. Honestly, I feel like it's a little bit. I get where you're coming from. Obviously, you guys are all rivals. See, for me, being a third party, whatever out here, it's I got the whole thing, Cole. Got the whole setup here. I love it. All right, but let me ask you this: let's look real quick in the old betting circuits about this game here, right? So, not that this I'm not a guy that cares about these stats. I'm not. But I did see these things, and I don't know if this sways your opinions on how this game is going to go. But I saw that the under, which I think it started 43.5, and it's moved to 45. The unders have hit 8 out of the last 10 games in Philadelphia that these two teams have met up in. And also, the under has hit in 8 of the last 10 games for the Eagles. That being said, the over's hit in 2 of the last 3. So, I don't know what that means. And also, the Giants are 3-0 against the spread, albeit they've lost all 3 games, but they're 3-0 on the road against the spread, which they're plus 4.5 tonight. And the Eagles are 0-3 as a favorite. So, and I don't know, I got more if you want to. So, the Giants are 19-7 against the spread in road games, and they're 17-5, and this is like dating back to the last 22 as road dogs. So like basically, they show up in these types of games. I think is what Las Vegas and bettors are trying to say, and the Eagles haven't maybe been as good, but honestly, I feel like we've been just kind of like casually looking at it like throughout the week, just chatting about it. It looks like everything, and you even said this, Zach, kind of as we jumped on the air, that everything's kind of pointing towards the Eagles. So like riddle me all this, and Cole, you too. I hope Colin's watching because I know he can chew on a segment. Like he knows he's looking at all these numbers. Like I know he's got his thumbs on some kind of betting application down there in Texas. Like he does.
He does. Go for it, Zach.
No, I was saying, Cole, take it away because I'm just going to tell you to take the Giants money line. So,
I was going to take the Giants plus 4.5, but I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to Giants and Eagles football to be able to tell you something super intelligent about this game. But if you look at the Giants' last two games, I think they're almost there. I mean, it has been a markedly different team the last 2 weeks than it has the prior three. So I don't know that the Giants win outright, but I do think they cover for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of my picks on the site too tonight. Was Giants plus 4.5. Like you said, if they don't win, it's going to be close. These games typically, when they mean something like this one does, at least to me, those two teams, it could be a field goal game easily, or a 4-pointer if someone misses.
I was saying that to Joe G. I'm telling you, I have this feeling in my bones that this game, I don't know. I kind of think maybe the Giants. My prediction is 23-22 Giants, but I think it's going to rest on the banks of a game-winning field goal, one way or the other. Yeah. You guys, especially there, I feel like more often than not, it's them winning on those, but I feel like you both had a little bit of drama there.
Yeah.
Down at the link, game-winning field goals, important primetime type games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. It always comes down to that in this rivalry divisional game. It really does. And a couple other bets I have out there if you want to hear them, Kieran, for prop bets.
Oh, yeah. Props. Prop them up. Prop the good folks watching the show up a little bit. Yeah.
So Richard Rodgers, the tight end for the Eagles. So we know Wentz loves his tight ends, right? And Ertz and Goddard, both of them, obviously, they're out. And his over-under for receptions was only 3.5. I mean, to me, that's like alarmingly low, but I would still take the over because he's probably going to get a little 5 yards across.
Dude, I like over 30.5 for reception or receiving yards too. So we're all on that same. I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one I had was Darius Slayton over 52.5 yards receiving.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always good for like at least 3 or 4 catches, and one of those is plus 20 yards easily. So you string maybe 2 of those together, a couple, you'll get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's funny. I was thinking about something here for a second. You got 2 meaningful games here coming up here, Zachary, and 48 hours from now, your college football, your alma mater, Penn State, hits the gridiron in the Big Ten. That is, and Cole. Now those eyes are lighting up because Zach, if you really just need to sit down and just like learn everything about college football and like a very unbiased, just straight to just straight to the matter horse, like perfect. It's like I love that quote. I just want to always say that, like in Wolf of Wall Street, when he's on the boat, but never mind. All right, whatever. But anyway, college football. I'm getting excited about this game too because I can just feel all the energy. Everyone's coming back from happy hour. I can hear it. Everyone's ready to go. But Big Ten's back, right? So Cole, let me ask you. I'm going to kick you off. Like, what do you kind of think about this almost California start? That's what they call it in track, where there was like that delayed, if you will, start. What do you feel about this, like rolling out start with college football this whole year in general? Like you're the college football don in our world. What are you feeling?
It's interesting. I think it's telling that, there's been 3 of the 5 power conferences have been playing for at least 4 weeks now. And I think only a handful of games have been canceled. So, I mean, retrospectively looking at this, I wish the Big Ten had started at the end of September when the SEC did. I wish the Pac-12 had started when the SEC did. But, I mean, hey, look, it's kind of like teased us a little bit over the weeks. We're kind of getting a little rollout. We got a couple of Big 12 games at the very beginning, and then a couple of ACC games, and then the SEC started. Now we're all starting to put it together. So it has been a good teaser to actually get a full college football season. But honestly, I'm just happy that it's happening at all. I'm happy that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 reversed their decisions and actually decided to play. It's going to be interesting. I mean, everybody's season's been modified. A lot of the non-conference games are not being played, and I'm super happy that everyone's going to end up playing. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy and everything like that. But as a spectator and as a huge fan, I'm super happy that everyone's actually starting in the next couple of weeks. So
it's funny, and as a spectator, I can bring a smile to your face here. Look, it's already coming, and it's fine. Just coincidentally, we're basically wearing the same colors. But I joked around. I told you after your wedding, I basically became an honorary Arkansas fan just after meeting all your boys and your family and stuff. Like, I'm in, and you're the almost like the big brother of Temple, where I'm like, you're not supposed to win, but you can win, and you're actually like playing in meaningful games, not in the American Conference. You're actually in the big boys one, the SEC, but. Right, there was a lot of trash talk on the Hogs this year, and they're turning some heads, right? I mean, the stats would say they're doing much better, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, the last 2 seasons we have gone 2-10. In the prior 100 years of Arkansas football, we have never gone 2-10 before in our entire program existence, and so. To be 2-2 right now at this point, we just hired a new coach. We canned the guy that went 2-10 twice. He's now the offensive coordinator at Auburn, and if you look at Auburn, their offense is just god awful right now, which is kind of funny. But so we have a new coach this year. We're 2-2. We actually should be 3-1. I don't know if you guys saw the debacle that happened at Auburn last weekend.
Dude, I love what the chat's saying. It's a no-fly zone in Fayetteville. Whew, your defense is rolling right now.
We had 6 picks last week, 2 pick sixes against Ole Miss, who the previous week had not scored more points, but put up more yards on an Alabama SEC defense than ever in history. And we had 6 picks last week. We lead the nation in picks right now with 10, 2 pick sixes last week. It is just fun. I mean, I just saw, the video on the Twitch, number 17. His name's Hudson Clark. The guy had 3 picks. He's a walk-on. He doesn't even have a scholarship. So
oh my God.
it's just unbelievable right now. Every time last week, I thought we were out of the game. Not out of the game, but I thought we were. Ole Miss was going to come back. We picked off another pass, and it was just incredible. So to your point, it has
Kiffin too, just like freaking out. Like I've gotten I think it was at the 4th or 3rd interception. Good God, look at
I think that was the 3rd, and it's that one right there. Yeah, it's such a stark contrast from them coming off the Alabama game where they scored 48 points, like almost 700 yards of offense, and then they throw 6 picks. And he never changed quarterbacks. I don't know what he was doing, but over anything, honestly, the Hogs are just fun right now. I'm having a ton of fun just watching them, and I would encourage anybody on here, whether you're from Pennsylvania,
the chat,
the Northeast, wherever.
See, this is why I love the chat.
Lighten up.
You got everyone's even. They're saying you guys are trash, and you got lucky in the Auburn game.
We got lucky in the Auburn game. I don't know about that. So we were down 17-0, and we ended up coming back in the second half. We took a 28-27 lead, and they missed a field goal. So they missed it was a pretty well of a chip shot field goal. And then they drove down the field again. We're still up 28-27, couple minutes left in the 4th. And their quarterback, Bo Nix, spikes the ball backwards. I don't know if you guys saw that. Are you guys familiar with this?
The worst part, I actually forgot to check up on this because I knew something happened, but I was too busy thinking about the Packers not winning the next day. And I just kind of got sidetracked.
Yeah, so they're spiking the ball. They're pretty close. They're probably inside the 20. I mean, they're in the red zone for sure. The quarterback takes the snap. He fumbles the snap. He picks the ball up, turns around, and spikes it, just like he was supposed to anyway, and spiked it backwards. So the referees blow the whistle dead. There is a clear recovery. One of our defenders broke through the line, went and picked the ball up. And the rule states that if the whistle's blown, there has to be an immediate and clear recovery, right? So they did determine that he threw the ball backwards. We covered the ball, right? We got the ball, and there's a video of the white hat referee looking into the screen and just shaking his head man, I can't really turn this call over. It's unbelievable. So they said that they basically admitted that it was they screwed it up, and I get that. It was I've never seen that before in a football game. Never seen it in my life in a football game before. A quarterback spikes it backwards.
I've
So I
never
can
heard
get
of that
the.
before.
I haven't either. So I get the initial mistake. I totally get it. But then to go to the replay and actually watch it and to see that he did throw the ball backwards. We did recover the ball and to still give the ball to Auburn. They ended up kicking a field goal and beating us by 2. It's just like, what do you do? Yeah. Anyway, so and it's been widely acknowledged. I've seen a couple of people, like prominent ESPN people, post like the Hawks are 3-1. We had not won a conference game since 2017. So we've won 3 conference games if you include the Auburn game, which was just a fluke. So we've won 3 conference games out of 4, and we haven't won a conference game since 2017. I'm having fun, man. I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, I was gonna say you gotta enjoy the ride a little bit, right?
Oh man, no, I have not enjoyed the ride.
No, not this. No, not up until this point. No, that's
yeah. No, I have not enjoyed
power tear that kind of ride. But let's look at the whole landscape of college football here for a second, too, right? I got a few thoughts, but I'll kind of pick your brain about, right? So the first one is, who's a team that you feel like who stood out, maybe a little bit like above the pack, right? Is there anyone that you feel like is maybe head and shoulders separated themselves at all?
I mean, this is super cliche, but I don't know how to avoid how good Clemson looks. I mean, head and shoulders above the rest of the competition on both sides of the ball. And then also Alabama. I mean, Alabama's defense has been very suspect this year, more suspect than before. But their offense right now is just clicking. And so, I mean, I hate to say it because I feel like it's year after year after year, but based on the Power 5 conferences that have played right now and all the teams that have played, I mean, I don't see how Alabama and Clemson are not on a path to meet in the championship game again.
And I'm looking, so this is interesting, too, about that Mizzou-Auburn game a few years ago, how they ruled the opposite way. You hate that inconsistency. I'll throw that out there.
Well, and you can even look, you're talking about the backwards fumble still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can even look.
I'm commenting in the chat. I was just seeing that. I'm just kind of coaster here. I know Zach right now is about to have a panic attack because he's about to go to war in like 15 minutes.
He's ready.
Like dude, just go get some like eye black or something. Just like paint like the Bryce Harper like triangles and just be like, let's go. Like,
or like the guy from the program where he just does his whole face like in I forget his name. You know the movie The Program?
No, actually I don't.
Never mind.
All right, hold on. Time out. We're doing that segment right now then. We have to do that segment right now, which is fitting because there's not too much time left in the show. We're just completely whoop. All right, I'm going to circle real quick. We're going like 60 seconds before I jump into this movie thing. Real quick, is Notre Dame real, by the way, Cole?
I don't know. We'll see in 2 weeks. I think in 2 weeks they play Clemson. I think that'll be when we really know. I mean, they won at home by 5 to Louisville. I don't know that Louisville is anything special this year.
They're not. They're not.
Yeah, I mean,
my buddy Nick, the one, like down in Kentucky, he's a huge Cards fan, and he was saying they're not real.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We'll know on November 7th when they play Clemson. I mean, that's the real answer.
All right, but I'll tell you. Speaking of movies, right? Wait, so what was the movie you were saying again?
Yeah, in the chat loves it too. The Program, James Caan. He's the head coach of the football team. Omar Epps is the running back.
I've never heard of this movie. Have you seen this one?
Dude,
right, I have not. I see my dad. That's my dad in the chat, by the way. Chirping.
Oh, I love it. I love
it. Oh, yes. Oh, Mr. P, absolutely. Let's go. Well, if he's saying it's a great movie, I got to go watch it.
It's like a mid-'90s, I think, movie. It's good. I like it a lot. It's about a college football team. It's all set. It's good.
All right, so let me ask you, speaking of movies I haven't seen, I was actually thinking about this the other day. Are there, like, I feel like everyone has one of these. Is there a movie that everyone's seen? I'm going to throw my sister under the bus, even though I love her to death. Rocky was hers. I remember she's a movie buff, and she likes sports, and she's like, I've never seen that actually. I was like, what? Like, I almost had like a stroke like years ago when she told me that. But is there a movie for you that you've kind of shamefully have to admit you've never seen before that everyone's seen?
Yeah, for me, it's The Shawshank Redemption.
I haven't
Never
seen it
seen it.
either.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
God.
a bad
All right.
one.
I feel worse
That's a
now.
bad
What's
one.
up?
I thought that was a good one. I thought it was like a
No,
classic.
it's
No,
great.
I'm
It's a
saying,
great one.
I'm saying it's a great movie. It's bad that you haven't seen it.
I was gonna say.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you have seen it?
Yes. Oh yeah. Great movie.
I just know the quote. I miss my pal Andy. Like, but that's all I know.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
But CP, what about you?
Well, since I can see my dad commenting on my other screen, I know I'm about to get killed for this one, but I've had the opportunity to watch it. It's been on TV a lot, but I have never sat down and watched Saving Private Ryan.
What? All right, I'm
I never
done.
have.
How the hell am I supposed to follow this up?
I'm never coming back
Never
on the
seen
show.
Saving-
I'm done.
Dude, we did a whole segment on like how the NFC East last year was like them, and like how like the troops like one by one going down, and like how the Eagles we were saying was the guys saying like I need more morphine, like because they're all like
I don't know
Bryce
if it's
and I
like
were doing that. So we even had Kansas City vibes that day on the show.
I don't know if it's like the emotional burden I know that I'm gonna get from watching it, and I've had the opportunity. It's been on Netflix or one of the
Dude,
streaming services forever.
First of all, you got to watch
I
like
just
the non-TV
never
version,
watched it.
but it's
Yeah.
it's like one of my favorite. It's like top 3 movies for me.
I know, and I've never watched it.
Dude, how am I supposed to follow this up? Like, Jesus Christ, like, like, oh, here we go, everyone. I've never seen Back to the Future before. Like,
Oh, I've never seen that either.
I
So
haven't either.
Really? Seriously? Oh, I feel better about myself, actually.
It just looks dumb to me.
Yeah, like, everyone was like, oh, like the DeLorean, and like the Cubs were supposed to win the World Series, and what was a year off from like when, you know, it was supposed to be in the movie. I don't know, like, and the music, and like Huey Lewis, or Huey, what is it? Huey Lewis in the News. That's it. Yeah, sorry. I mean, to that point, I mean, they had like one song, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have no itch to see it.
Yeah, so here's something, question for both of you. Do you find that, like, if someone is in your face, like, oh, dude, you have to watch this movie, you have to watch it, like, you tend to just not watch it because of that, or is it the opposite?
depends on the movie.
Depends on the sale to me. Like, right?
Yeah.
So I'll add to that. You know what I hate the most? I hate when people go, "Have you ever seen this movie?" And you're like, "No." And they're like, "Well, there's this really funny part where there's this guy," and it's just like, I haven't seen it. Like, I'm not gonna like digest it in the humorous way that you did when you saw it. Like you explaining it to me. Like, I don't know. That's just my little pet peeve.
No, I agree. Yeah, it depends on the movie and it depends on the seller. Like, it depends on who's trying to get you to watch it. So.
Zach, I'm gonna duck. I've never seen The Godfather. Like, whoop.
Well, in the chat, they're saying they've never seen The Godfather either. So.
Oh, all right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I feel better. All right.
You got to watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we got to watch some football too. So real quick. So my prediction is 23-22. What do you guys feeling?
31.
Giants cover.
Giants cover. I like that. 31-23 Giants.
Oh, and the overhits. Little offensive bonanza.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. All right. So real quick. Before we jump off the air, first of all, I want to thank the chat. That was a great chat tonight. A lot of good mojo. Oh yeah, absolutely. So we want to thank everyone for checking out the show tonight. And real quick, so for anyone that's checking us out for the first time, and you know, real quick, I actually forgot to do this. It was supposed to be our Mojo Monday, Zach. But shout out to Doc Emmerich. Like, oh my God, like amazing career, right? I mean, you just the tweet says it all right there. And anyone that's listening to us later on down the road in the audio episode, 3750. I can actually read that like an adult. 3,750 professional Olympic games, 100 different verbs used to describe pass or shot, which I heard that's insane how he does that. 22 different Stanley Cup finals. Doc Emmerich obviously retiring. And it's funny. So I actually don't know if I ever told the story to you, Zach, and I definitely didn't do it to the show. But so when I was in college, so this is a little tidbit before we jump on the air or jump off the air and you can get ready for war. So I actually had an internship with NBC, and anytime the NHL and NBC came to Philadelphia for a Flyers home game on like a Sunday afternoon or like a night game on the weekdays, I would go down there and like be a stringer. And like basically it was you're there for like 12 hours and just getting coffee or doing whatever. But one of my jobs up until and through the game was to pick them up, the broadcasters at the airport, drop them off, and then literally just be kind of like their guy and just be like, do you need coffee? Do you need food? I'll get whatever. The nicest human being you could ever meet. For like he'd chat hockey with you like as you're driving like him up to the arena. And so when we would get there, the coolest things I because they always would tell me he loved coffee, so I'd always get him. And every time you get him coffee, you'd be like, oh, like you don't have to do that. I'd be like, oh no, like it's fine. The guy drinks like almost an entire box of Joe, by the way, calling a game, which I thought was unreal. It was incredible. And I remember asking him, like, I can stand where I was like, where do you want me to stand so I can be like at the ready for you? And he was like, "Oh, just like sit wherever and what in the press box, like just enjoy the game." It was like so cool. He's like, "Hey, just enjoy it. Like I'm good." Like he's like, "I'm just like if you need, like I'll let you know if I need anything, like in the intermissions." And I was like, "All right, like the man, like the nicest guy." So hats off to Doc on an awesome career, and yeah, just great stuff.
He probably has one of the most iconic broadcasting voices of all time, especially in hockey. That's when I watch hockey, I think his voice.
Oh yeah, it's fantasy. Do they have that down there in Arkansas and Kansas? Like they watch hockey?
No, we don't. Not a ton.
It's all right. It's all right. We got the shout out covered. But real quick, while we're covering things, let's cover. If anyone wants to check us out down in the future, if you want to follow us, just click that heart to the left, the little purple heart. And speaking of Saving Private Ryan, and then if you want to click to the right there, you can subscribe. It's free if you have Amazon Prime, and if not, it's only $4.99. So we always make the joke, Cole. If you don't want to get that last Coors Night at Mosaic, at like 155, if you're in Kansas City, just don't. Just subscribe to us instead. It's much better. And if you want to also check us out on Spotify and iTunes, those options are available as well. So you can check us out there and follow us. And then you can also check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit @_GetSidetracked. If you're not watching us on Twitch right now, and this is in the future and you're listening to us, you can check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/get_sidetracked. And make sure you follow us on our website, www.get-sidetracked.com, where Zach's got his picks. He's ready to go. He's ready. I'm looking at Fox right now. What hype level? Like, is it third down Thursday?
We're past that. It's like third down at the goal line. It's actually fourth and goal. It's fourth and goal right now, Kieran, at the
It's
one.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time. So Cole, what was it like on your first podcasting adventure here in the living room? Did you have a good time?
Oh, I loved it.
It's like a
I'm having a blast.
Did you have fun? Did you like us? Like,
what am I supposed to say? No. No. I've had a blast. Hope you guys invite me back for sure.
Dude, you're always welcome in the real living room and this one as well. And the chat was awesome. Like, this was a lot of fun. I want to thank everyone also for the subscriptions and Plunkett doing one, subscribing to us. Oh yeah, we love it. We really appreciate all the love and support tonight.
Yeah. No, thanks everyone. It was great. And let's see what we got in store tonight.
Yeah, you got anything to take us out, Zach, with a little positivity?
Well, I had a pick for some UFC action this weekend, some off the wall little things.
Dude, lay it on. The fine folks need to hear this. Fight night.
Yeah, so UFC 4 on Saturday. We got Habib and Justin Gaethje. Habib is like minus 350 money line right now, but I think Gaethje can pull off the upset. He's like plus 285. So let's go for the underdog. Rocky story. Let's hit it.
I love it.
Cole doesn't like it.
I think Habib like murders bears in his sleep. So no, I think Habib takes this one. I don't know that he loses.
Yeah, dude, that's the best way to put it. He really does.
He's terrifying.
Awesome. We love it. So we'll recap the games next Monday. We'll be back on the air at 7:00 Eastern time, 6:00 Central, and recap all the games from this past weekend. And Cole, dude, we gotta get that. We gotta get that W. We gotta get back on the right track after the Packers. That defense was last weekend. So let's get back on track.
We will.
All right. I love it. So we want to thank everyone for watching. We hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see everyone in the living room back here at 7:00 on Monday. Cheers, everyone.